Here's June 30th, 2022. I'm watching, there's some Supreme Court ruling that they're letting out. I'm listening to it because all I have is this television version of it. I don't have access to anything in depth. There's no scholar. There's nobody before they mentioned that DOJ, which they're indicating is federal level, is investigating NYPD. I'm like, oh, well, thank God for that. Because the NYPD front seems to be running by some new face I don't recognize. So that's a bullet, several, it's like magazines worth of bullet holes in New York's landscape and police department. The only one that the people recognize by brand recognition. Today they swore in some Supreme Court bullet hole. I'm like, at what point do things actually get better and look up? I'm just curious. While I'm held in the field in a situation where I don't have access to DOJ, I can walk up to NYPD, but there's really nothing they and I have to discuss other than the abuse that I suffered at the hands of some of the locals. Just in case they have some kind of reporting and documentation and paperwork on my behalf for stuff going on.
Earlier, the Supreme Court released its final rulings of the term, including two big cases relating to immigration and climate change. First, the High Court limited how the nation's main anti-air pollution law can be used to reduce carbon dioxide emissions from power plants. By a 6-3 vote, the court said that the Clean Air Act does not give the Environmental Protection Agency broad authority.
Now, here's my question. Are these stacks is they call it greenhouse gas, but is that code for like nuclear waste being spit out into the atmosphere? I mean, is that part of the asthmatic problem going on? Because I mean, like, I have no idea. I mean, I've seen these stacks before, but they don't teach it in the local school just how they're poisoning the children. I mean, they also don't give jobs in order to try to get away from these kind of facilities. I'm sure someone in the world has maps and geographical data and knows these answers. But and I'm the endangered species. I'm the ABO RH negative. Just so the whatever in whatever is clear. I have no idea what any of this stuff is. How do you make elections in the electoral college so you don't become part of the ignoramus in the college farce that's damaging the planet, the local area, and all of the population of ABO RH negative at the moment? I mean, I'm just curious.
To regulate greenhouse gas emissions from power plants that contribute to global warming.
It's devastating. It is yet another example of the court's unwillingness to protect the health and safety of the American people from guns.
So the courts are unwilling to help the American people. So instead of fixing the court system and the people that sit on the court systems, they decided to change the ratios in the supreme part of the court system after already being damaged. They wanted to just shoot another bullet and exsanguinate and give another profuse bleed into the body of justice. For what? Like, who do you all work for? I'm just curious. Taxpayers? Yeah, it doesn't fucking look like it.
To abortion and now climate change. It is devastating.
Well, the ruling is a defeat for the Biden administration.
unwillingness to protect the health and safety of the American people, from guns to abortion and now climate change. It is devastating.
Well, the ruling is a defeat for the Biden administration, but a win for the fossil fuel industry. The High Court.
So they're already failing to protect and meet the needs of the people as the overruling body and the people that they serve. They're already failing. And then Biden decides to make good on a promise and put another bullet hole in the justice system. I'm a little confused. And here's them just celebrating this win, according to them. Me, it looks more like another bullet hole that I don't know how they're going to fix.
A moment and a barrier broken in Washington, where Ketanji Brown.
A barrier broken. For bleaching barrier reefs, this sounds really important, like that topic is to certain people.
Brown Jackson became the first Black woman to serve on the highest court in the country.
I, Ketanji Brown Jackson,
do solemnly swear
that
I will administer justice.
And look who was given the
Justice for whom? Because currently in North America, justice is not being served properly. In fact, it's gotten more dangerous to even try to survive. And in my case, because I am such a rare whatever, I've been wiped off of someone's priority or schedule. I don't know if I just fell off, somebody unclicked it on like a computer somewhere, and then like everybody just lost sight of me. I mean, it's a little confusing as to how to survive in this world when all this stuff keeps going on and getting worse within a very specific biological clock system in a very specific geographical area. Now, this is an interesting piece of their journalism if it's read correctly. It says new gun law in New York. New York lawmakers vote tonight. Whoever these mysterious people are, I have no idea. But I don't know what they're voting on. This African, Caribbean, whatever, possibly Central American, I don't know what his descendants are from, is in Albany on camera stating that they're unprepared for this. Unprepared for what? For protecting people? Because everybody's just been mowing over what needs to get done. I mean, how does... We have this face of Kathy Hochul. How does she actually, since she's in a higher category of speaking and being heard, how does she actually quietly voice, forget her political career for a second, how does she actually vote and say her concerns without reprisal, repercussions, or being hauled off to jail? I mean, is there like a safe word for this disgusting abomination that New York has turned into in some kind of like staged coup, and we're in like late stages?
Solis is live in Albany tonight with the very latest. Marcus.
And as they say, the devil is in the details, and that is why some 5 hours after this legislative special session was to begin, lawmakers have still not been presented with a bill, but they say that is because they're trying to get this right.
We're in new legal territory. This is a major overhaul of how we regulate guns.
New territory. Here's keywords. I mean, like my alarm bells going off for my kids. Mon enfant. They're unprepared, first time, overhaul, and like as if this is their first day building. Here's the thing. When somebody has infested your government, when somebody is when they've infiltrated and there's a siege and you're under siege, at what point do the red flares go off and like the superheroes come in and shut shit down? Is it when you have a camera in their face and they're like, oh, because they're not used to building. They're used to tearing things down. It's called democracy for a reason. It's the demo crew. When you're going to rebuild something because you don't like the way it looks, you demolish it first and then you rebuild it the way that you want. That's the most scary thought in this country at this point. And I don't know where my superhero league is. I have no idea. Because it feels like to even say what I'm saying, my life could be put in jeopardy or in danger for actually having the courage and the balls to come out and say what everybody's thinking, but nobody wants to say. Because it might be a career ender or a career changer. Fucking pussies.